Well, 2 days after FIOS News reported one investigation at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, we have uncovered another investigation.
FIOS 1's Giovanna Drpic joins us now live with this exclusive. Giovanna.
Mike Courtney, this investigation at the Joint Military Base may bring into question the validity of years' worth of arrests and convictions. The civilian police officer who works at Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst takes pride in protecting the base and the public from threats. He wants to remain anonymous, but he couldn't believe it when he got the news.
I was shocked that the Air Force would consider all the civilian police officers, or the majority of them, to be uncertified, not trained properly.
According to this memo that FIOS News obtained exclusively, the Air Force determined that the majority of its non-supervisory police officers lacked proper certifications. The memo states the situation poses, quote, an undue risk and liability to the Air Force base wing and the officers themselves. And these are officers who carry weapons and have the power to make or assist in making arrests on the base.
We handle DWIs, assaults, domestic violence, menacing, traffic violations.
And this comes in the wake of the other investigation that FIOS News told you about, the retaliation case and investigation into whether Keith Sandel, the Chief of Investigations, Internal Affairs Officer, and Lead Supervisory Detective at McGuire Air Force Base, disclosed he had been arrested and indicted on 40 counts related to sexual assault and official misconduct back in 1996. They're charges that were expunged from his record, but he was required to report it in his job application according to New Jersey law. A spokesperson for the base says it's looking into those serious allegations. And now, with FIOS One's discovery of this document revealing the lack of proper certification and training schedule, there's new scrutiny as to whether the officers had received adequate training in the first place.
I would immediately see a door opening to perhaps the possibility of a defendant who has been convicted of an offense that occurred on the base of moving to vacate that conviction and get a new trial. I would want to know in what areas were they found to be deficient? Why would they decertified? I mean, it sounds pretty serious to me.
I have firsthand knowledge that there are several people that were involved with investigations, that was subject of investigations, that negative action was taken upon these people, and they have not been notified as of today.
We contacted Joint Base McGuire-Dix Lakehurst, and a spokesperson says this, quote, there were no decertifications, but our sources say they were told they were decertified, and that's why they were taken off patrol for 6 weeks. To remedy the situation, the Air Force outlined in that same memo a retraining schedule. But the lack of certification of the officers may call into question what happens to all of the arrests that were made by the civilian police officers since the Air Force took over the base 5.5 years ago in October of 2009. We consulted with attorney Maria Noto. She's been a criminal defense attorney licensed in New Jersey for more than 30 years. She handles many of the same kinds of cases that the civilian police officers are involved in as part of their jobs.
We live in the age of terrorism. We want to have the best qualified police in every area. You're talking about the police on a military base.
And for this civilian police officer who says he takes his job seriously, he says he wants the Air Force to take the vetting process of hiring civilian police officers just as seriously.
I believe there needs to be a lot of questions answered by the Air Force, and I believe the public deserves better.
And a spokesperson at the base also tells us that the mandatory training sessions have been completed, so there is, quote, no potential risk as all police officers were trained. Courtney, Mike?
Very interesting.
Very
Thank you,
interesting.
Giovanna.
Thank you.